Hey, what's up, guys? So today I want to talk about why you shouldn't live below your means to the point of exhaustion or the point of boredom or the point of, being mundane. So, we see online sometimes that it's like, live below your means, eat rice and crackers, drink plain water, and, eventually over time, you'll have $1 million and you'll be able to have freedom. So if you go on Reddit right now, right, there's a whole fire movement going on. You have these people that are saying, we've been saving for 10 years, we've been saving for 20 years, we haven't spent a nickel, we've been eating tomato sauce and, beef and chicken, dry chicken, and we haven't had any kind of seasonings, we haven't went on any vacations, we haven't bought anything, we haven't done nothing. All we've done was been working, saving our money, and now we have $2 million saved up after 15 years or 20 years. And we now don't even want to spend the 2 million because we've worked so hard and we've saved so hard for that 2 million. We feel like we don't want to spend it. We just want to sit on it. So the problem with that is during those 15 to 20 years, you might have missed birthdays, you might have missed births, you might have missed weddings, you might have missed your kids going to your kids soccer games and these different events. Your parents, you weren't around them enough. Your friends, you weren't hanging around them enough. You're traveling, you missed certain opportunities, you missed a lot of things during these 15 years, all in the sake of saving money. But there's people out there who have this mindset of abundance with money, who are making 100,000 a month, 200,000 a month, $1 million in a month. But it took you 15 to 20 years to save it, 2 million. So you have to ask yourself, does that make any sense? Should I have waited 20 years to save 2 million? And then during that time, I had to work overtime. I had to, do a bunch of stuff. I had to say no to a bunch of events, lost friends in the process, didn't get my life, goals on point in the process. We only have one life. This isn't like we can live 200 years. If we were able to live 200 years, maybe it would make sense. But most of the life expectancy, statistics say it's about, 75 to 80, sometimes even 70, depending on how people are living now, with all the fast food and, the GMO and food being made in the factories, and the fruits and vegetables not even having like actual seeds in them anymore. Everything's genetically modified. So the life expectancy is a lot lower. So for you to spend 20 years just saving and just, kind of putting your life away for money, that was actually being printed every day. You have to understand money is being printed every day. It is being printed at a specific building. They can print hundreds of thousands. Some countries that you're living in are in debt, because they're spending on different things. And so, you have to ask yourself, does this make sense? Because a lot of people in this Reddit group, fire, they have regrets, after a while. They say, we've been burnt out. Now we found a good balance. Now we're going to spend, 50% of our income on life enjoyment and then 50% saving, which makes sense. It doesn't make sense to save 90% of your income or 100% of your income for that many years. Of course, you could save it for 1 year, 2 years. That's reasonable. 1 year, maybe you got into, a rut and you got to get yourself out of it. Save your money for a year, save your money for 2 years, live below your means. You can go extreme like that for a year. But when it gets to 5, 6 years, 7 years, it's unreasonable. It gets to the point where it's like your life is kind of being pushed aside. You need to also enjoy your life. So I recommend, not living below your means to the point of where you get to exhaustion. So if you right now, you're on the wealth journey and you're saving your money, you're saving your income, save, don't save 90%, save at least 50, 60%, and then have the other 40% on your bills and your life enjoyment. Go out, every week, try to do something new. And try to increase your income. Use that money to increase your income, especially if you're young. They tell you when you're young, invest in growth stocks before dividends, and then when you get to a certain age, like 60, you sell all those growth stocks. Then you switch to dividends where you can get monthly income, from that growth. So wouldn't it make sense instead to spend that on your skill set? Invest in yourself, invest in your finance, invest in your fitness, invest in your knowledge, You know, the more things you can learn when you're younger, so by the time you get to a certain age, 30, 40, 50, you know, you have a lot of wisdom, you have a lot of intelligence, you know how to, you know, write your taxes, you know how to, you know, make money sometimes without even having to have a job. You know, your skills are marketable. You can call up a few people and they can say, hey, you know, we need you to change a light. You know, hey, we need you to cut our grass. Hey, we need you to, you know, fix our whatever. You know, it could be toilets, sinks. Hey, we need you to file our taxes. Hey, we need some help doing this, that. You know, and you know how to do all these different things, so you can always make money on your own. You know, you're an independent contractor. You don't have to always, you know, send out an application to go to a job. So this is why it's important to learn your own skill set, invest in yourself, so you're a well-rounded person that can do different things. You know, maybe you can do tattoos. You know, maybe you can do cut hair, you know, barber, whatever it is. You know, you have this skill set that you acquired over time where now you can make money on your own. So that's more important to invest in yourself than to, you know, try and live below your means to the point where you're eating tomato sauce out of the can all the time. So right now, you know, if you're living below your means, try and invest in yourself, invest in your income, invest in your knowledge, invest in your assets, you know, and you know, don't live too much to the point of mundane and lower quality of life. You want a good quality of life. So if you guys like this video, leave a comment below, leave some advice for everyone else, subscribe, like, comment. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.